about to happen, I think. Cool. All right. Awesome. Okay. So once again, I am going to just backtrack just a second and welcome everybody to the 2021 Missouri River Relief Awards Banquet. And I did want to thank a couple of our board members that are leaving the River Relief Board this year. Terry Merritt and Jed Fredrickson have both worked with us since 2018 and have been friends for much longer. Thank you, Terry and Jed. And we're also really proud and excited to bring on 2 new board members who I noticed are in the crowd here tonight. So longtime crew member Chris Matern and our river friend Sandy Neal. So thanks, you guys. They just joined a couple of days ago. And thank you to all of our board members. So this is the first time we've done an awards banquet online. And although we've all been doing more Zoom meetings than ever before, this is the largest group we've hosted on Zoom. So hopefully this works. And thanks for your patience as we roll forward. And first of all, just a couple of housekeeping things. This meeting is limited to 100 people. And so far we have 50, so there's not going to be any problem with that. But as I mentioned before, we're trying to stream it live to YouTube. So if for some reason you get booted off of Zoom, you can check in on the YouTube channel and try to check in there. Just Google Missouri River Relief YouTube, look for the live stream. We're also recording the event too, so we'll have that available later. And if you didn't get the memo that you're supposed to wear a cool hat, that's because there was no memo. But people are just, it's spontaneous, you know? So if you're feeling, you know, insecure that your hat isn't cool enough, like, that's fine. Just go run around and find a cooler hat. It's okay. You can do that. And nobody's putting up inappropriate backgrounds. Thank you for that. It's something that we have to tell all of our 8th graders. Don't put inappropriate backgrounds up on Zoom. But we figured with adults like you guys, we would have to tell you that too. So doing that. And everybody's muted right now. You can use the chat, little chat function to talk to each other. That's kind of fun. We do ask that you keep yourselves muted during the awards. And after the awards, we're going to open the room up again and there'll be an opportunity to chat again. So it'll be a chaotic opportunity, but what could be funner? If you do receive an award tonight, we'd love for you to say something. Wait until the presenter asks you to speak, and it's best if you unmute yourself before speaking. Keep it short, sweet, and from the heart. And then remember to mute yourself again, so we don't have to listen to whatever craziness is going on in the background. And, you know, these awards, man, we give a lot of awards away because there's so many people that deserve them. And there's so many people that won't get award tonight that actually have done amazing things this year. We love all of you. So just cheers to all of you guys. So 2020 was a challenging year for all of us, and we really had to change how we do things. Thanks to all of you guys for rolling with the punches and keeping in the stream. We accomplished a lot. We touched a lot of people, and we gave a lot of love to the river. Thanks for that, you guys. I hope you were able to hear all of that, and that worked good. I'm going to try to share our awards slideshow. So this slideshow is going to run, and I have a feeling based on what's happened so far that it might be a little glitchy, but we'll see how it goes. the worst thing about this is once we do this, you can't see all the faces anymore, which is kind of sad. So you kind of have to scroll through to see everybody, which is totally worth it. All right. Oh, you know what? I had a whole nother paragraph that I was going to read, so I'm going to do that now. And that is that 2021 is the 20th anniversary of Missouri River Relief. So back in 2001 in October, a bunch of you helped organize the first Missouri River cleanup in Easley, Missouri. It really honestly was the event that put Easley on the map, to be honest. And it might have fallen off the map since then, but that's okay. Since then, you have joined 28,500 volunteers to remove 970 tons of junk from the Missouri River. You've worked with 26,500 students. This year, we are planning a river cleanup in Omaha in May and our third Big Muddy Clean Sweep, a series of cleanups this fall from Kansas City to Columbia. So I hope you guys can join us somewhere in this whole awesome batch of river stuff. And let's get that 1,000th ton of junk out of the Missouri River in 2021. What do you say? All right. Cool. I think our next person to talk is Kristen, if I have my papers right.
Yeah. So we're going to kick off with our special recognitions. And this special recognition is called the Best Virtual Field Trip Film Production. Amidst school closures and the suspension of in-person programs, our staff grappled with the idea of what can effective virtual Missouri River experiences look like, which is a question I never really thought we'd be asking ourselves. So similar to many others in 2020, we started dipping our toes into best practices of distance learning. And we dreamed big as we worked to reconfigure our annual field trip that takes out the entire fourth grade in Columbia Public Schools into a virtual format with a YouTube video complemented with a companion guide to sort of guide teachers and students through the film. With limited resources, we began planning the video. We did not make it very far before we realized we were far beyond our level of expertise or even experience. And that is when this recipient of this special recognition came in. These recipients jumped into action and they offered their help to film and edit Exploring the Big Muddy, a virtual field trip. They hauled professional filming gear out onto our boats. They provided their river expertise during filming, and they even pulled out a drone to get some spectacular footage of California Island and the iconic limestone bluffs. They spent countless hours editing the footage in order to produce an incredible film for our Missouri River family. Their work was no small feat and was something we could not have accomplished without their generosity. Since the launch of this video in November, it's been viewed over 500 times and has been shared by numerous teachers in their classroom and has been recently requested at screenings virtually for 5 different assisted living centers so that seniors can view the river tour as well. For years to come, Missouri River Relief will now have a unique tool for helping people develop a deeper understanding of the Missouri River. And we'll be able to say, oh, here's what we do when it floods or there's a storm, and we can't go on a field trip. So please help us recognize the creators of our virtual field trip, Tom Newcomb and Jim Karpowitz from the documentary group. Woo! Jim, would you like to speak?
Sure. I'm quite excited. This is going to be played in assisted living centers because me and Jeff Barrow and John Brady can just sit around and relive our magic on the river for eons to come. So, yeah, thanks you guys. I mean, no worries. It was something that it's what we do. So it was lovely adventure, and that's about all I got to say.
It was a great day on the river that day.
It was very fun.
Thanks,
Beautiful.
Jim.
Thanks. Thank you for the award. And I do have, Potato is here and does have some words, but I'm going to keep his comments to a minimum because he can get a little rambunctious.
Yeah. I'm surprised he hasn't jumped up and chewed your glasses off, but
Well, there he is.
good job, Tater.
Do you have anything to say? Any words? No words from Tater right now.
No words from Tates. All right.
Guys,
Well, thank you, Jim. And we do ask after you guys are done, if you got an award, if you could mute yourself, that would be super. So I have realized that for whatever reason, the slides are not progressing when I click them, right? So it's a little random. So slides may come too early and slides may come too late. And that's just how it's going to be. And we're going to love it anyways. So, ooh, that one worked right on cue. Cool. So I've got another award that I'm going to do. So volunteers help at all levels with our organization, from helping to sign in volunteers, to driving a boat, to managing heavy equipment, to editing curriculum, to backing up trailers. And we need more volunteers that can back up trailers, by the way. To guiding our staff through tricky bureaucracies. There's a lot of work for volunteers to do around here. Now, this guy has been serving on the Missouri River Relief Board since 2009. That's 12 years. Most of that time serving as the treasurer. He offers an even-keeled financial perspective, walks our board back from panicking at our revenue numbers, and reminds us that things are much better than they used to be. Over the past year and a half, he's been working closely with me and Scott Mansker to figure out the technical details of Missouri River Relief acquiring the MR 340 race, always looking out for River Relief's interests and Scott's interests in the process. He brings surprise home-crafted rum by the office and offers weathered wisdom from the long view of Boone County and the Missouri River. For your dedicated service and wisdom, we're offering Mike Christ our Lifetime Achievement Award, which we made up for you on the spot. So thank you, Mike Christ, so much. And if you have something to say, unmute yourself. You might have to unmute. There you go, Mike.
It's been a pleasure, man. It's just all been way too much fun. Thank you all for the opportunity, and getting the 340 prodded along to completion was a real pleasure. Scott and Steve worked so seamlessly together. I'm looking forward to this new chapter in River Relief's tenure on the planet. Thanks for the award, and best in this coming year to everybody.
Thank you, Mike. And I thought I should tell everybody, we have actual awards to give everyone. And, you know, if we were, I don't know, a bureaucracy that had our stuff together, like maybe we'd have given them to you already. But we'll get them to you because some of them are still being made and they're going to be awesome. Mm-hmm. So Mel's got the next award.
All right. Hi, everybody. This one is called the Trash Mobsters. And picking up other people's trash can be a real drag for most people. Others get some kind of profound joy from it, like they're a kid in a candy store when it comes to tires and water heaters. So here come these two trash mobsters down out of the north, and all of a sudden, they're everywhere. Sort of like that Bernie meme. They're everywhere. This power couple went out in search of trash in their free time for fun. Pandemic or not, these two were already hip to the trash mob scene before it was even a thing. So full of new energy, at one point, we had to ask one of them if she had a reverse gear. Her enthusiasm for trash location, identification, and collecting was like a fresh wind to power the group's sails. He was just in as deep as she was. Just about everywhere you looked on social media, they were there with car trunks, wheelbarrows, canoes, and bicycle trailers full of trash gleaned from trails and roadside ditches. Missouri mud took to them both well and quickly. After having a flat out cancel nearly 40 of River Relief's programs in 2020, we watched in amazement as trash mobs took flight. Crew members, small pods of volunteers and their families from St. Louis to Kansas City all stepped up to do their part while documenting their efforts with photos and trash reports. Of 106 trash mobs logged in 2020, 77 of those alone were from Laura Semkin and Sean Hawks. Anyone that knows them would not be shocked by the sheer volume of cleanups, let alone the trash heap they hauled from the rivers and floodplains by bicycle and canoe. Their results: 67 miles cleaned, nearly 134 tires removed, a total of 6 tons of trash. It was apparent that they were no novices in their concern for the environment and commitment to River Relief's mission. In a difficult time for our events, they put their effort wholeheartedly and they put their effort wholeheartedly into the heart and soul of our goals. With style and determination, they simply made it work with joy and laughter. The heart of our group is made of such as these two. After being called back to Iowa, they returned several times to help further our endeavors. They are loved and appreciated when with us and missed when apart. Please help us congratulate our 2020 Trash Mobsters of the Year, Laura Semkin and Sean Hawks.
We're so sweet. We'll be back. We're coming back, and we're mapping all of the tires of Louisa County. But right now they're all frozen, so we can't get them. But no, this was a really fun, it was an awesome experience, and I think we're very happy to have inspired something greater, because that's the whole point. And so happy to serve. Thank you so much. Want to say anything?
No, ditto. Thank you.
Well, thanks to John Brady for helping me write that also.
All right, so I think I have the next one. So our next special recognition is called the Caring is Contagious Award. So when COVID hit earlier last year, many of us weren't quite sure what to do. Many of our jobs changed, roles shifted, and clients lost. This next award recipient took advantage of the negative situation and reminded all of us that caring can be quite contagious. So we wanted to take this opportunity to share a short video with all of you that highlights one of our dedicated crew members and the work that they chose to focus on during quarantine. So I'm going to let Doris Gilroy do the rest of the talking during this film. So it might be a little jumpy for everybody, but I think the words are going to come through just fine. And that's kind of the most important part of this, is the message that she shares with us. So I'm going to go ahead and screen share from Steve, but it's just about 3 minutes long. So everybody enjoy this short film called Caring is Contagious, featuring Doris Gilroy. So thank you, Doris, for being you and inspiring others.
Thank you. Yeah, COVID, yay. And I am happy to say that I walked around the area of the lake that I cleaned last spring, and there's not a lot of trash anymore. That I think people are being aware and conscious of picking their trash up when they go fishing or hiking the trails there out at Binder. It's such a beautiful little gym outside of Jefferson City, and that was just it was a blast doing it. The picnic table that I pulled out of the lake, the swimming pools, the big drums that I pulled out, and the bags and bags and bags of styrofoam fishing containers that I pulled out. It was just crazy amounts of those little square boxes that the worms come in, cigarette lighters, Gatorade. You guys know the stuff that you find out in the lakes. It was fun. It was in inspiring other people to get out there and pick the trash up out of Binder Lake, out from around the edges and in the lake was really fun. Some friends of mine caught on and they went out every weekend and they could, and they were picking up trash as well. And I ran upon families that were hiking and they all picked up well as well. So that was pretty groovy. So yeah, trash mobs.
Cool. Well, let's watch this short video. Thank you, Doris, for saying that.
Well, this whole coronavirus thing going on, I have lots of spare time on my hands now. I had to shut my massage studio down, and I've been coming out here for years, and the trash just always makes me sad. So I thought, you know what? I have this free time. I'm going to pick trash up. Styrofoam from coolers and fishing boxes that breaks up and lands in here, and there's just tons of it. I mean, look at that. So these things, these are the worm containers that the fishermen buy. Lots and lots of these. How do I feel today after picking up the trash? Oh my God. It feels so fantastic today that I picked up my last cove. And while I was picking trash, several groups of people, families, walked by and saw it. And I'm hoping that by seeing me picking up trash today has encouraged them and their children to do the same and bring a trash bag with them on their next hike and pick up trash. I started volunteering with Missouri River Relief 6 or 7 years ago. Because of the coronavirus, a lot of our big pickups that we normally do have been closed down. So I've started doing what I call a flash mob trash pickup. So I'm the big mob. And so I've just been picking trash up locally. And thank goodness other people have started doing the same things. I certainly hope I've started a movement. Some Facebook friends of mine, when they saw me posting pictures of my trash pickup, the next day they started picking up trash in their kayaks. So yeah, I think I've started a movement. I'm going to tell myself that anyway. So I've been picking trash up here for a couple of weeks now. I just picked my last cove up today along what I call the Fisherman's Trail. And then I'll go up along the other trails and pick up trash. And I'll probably come back at least once a weekend because I'm sure there will always be trash. I used to take a backpack with me with a trash bag in the back and pick up trash every time I hike. I don't care if it's Binder Trail, Pine Ridge, Three Creeks, whatever trail I'm on. I'm always picking up trash. Yeah, baby!
Yeah, baby. That's awesome. Doris, you're a force of nature. Thank you. So I think that takes us into our annual awards, and I'll let Steve kind of take over again.
Okay. Everything is moving slow for me. Well, aha, uh-oh. Well, I don't really have much control over what the slideshow's doing here. So we're just gonna kind of work it. We got a little sneak peek of what's next, I guess. Cool. So our next award category, and now we're into our annual awards. So everything that we've done so far are special recognitions we came up with this year for people that are particularly amazing this year or did something really awesome. So we're now moving into our annual awards. So these are awards that we give every year. We have a long history of that. This next award is the Pat Jones Sponsor of the Year Award. And it's named after someone who's left us just a couple of years ago who made perhaps more of an impact on Missouri conservation than any one person has done in the history of the state. Pat Jones, we miss her. Missouri River Relief has been so fortunate to have such a large number of dedicated sponsors and donors that not only help us pay the bills for our cleanup and education operations, but also share a passion for our mission and a faith that we will spend their dollars wisely. Last year's winner was Scott and Kate Mansker from River Miles. The Race to the Dome is one of our best fundraising events of the year. And the fact that it's a super fun community event that connects people to the Missouri River makes it even better. Of course, in 2020, it was so important to get people together outside and do something safely. Because of county restrictions, we had to limit participation to 100 paddlers. When we heard that our main sponsor cut their contribution in half, it made the margins even tighter. That's when our next award winners stepped up to the rescue. Right before the pandemic, UST Gear had launched a complete rebranding of their camping and outdoor gear. Where they had anticipated traveling all year around the country to events selling the new brand, their event budget was completely unused. So they stepped up to sponsor the Race to the Dome. John Holdmeyer, who works at UST, has been a friend of Missouri River Relief since he worked at the Alpine Shop many years ago, helping strengthen our relationship with that local outdoor shop. Last year, he donated many boxes full of gear for our camp, for crew awards, and for our boats. John and all the good folks at UST, thank you so much for finding silver linings in 2020 for Missouri River Relief. Our 2020 Pat Jones Sponsor of the Year is UST, and John Holdmeyer is on Zoom with us. So, John, do you have anything you want to add?
Yeah. Thank you so much. You didn't warn me that there was going to be a picture. That's terrifying. No,
There it is.
I really appreciate everything. UST, we really appreciate everything that you all do for the river and for our community. And we're just, we look at what we're able to do as a very small part of it. And you all are the ones who are out there every day actually putting in all the work, and we're just really happy to be able to play the small role that we do, and we want to keep being able to grow that because we're just really, really grateful for all of you. So thank you very much.
Awesome. Well, thank you, John. Thanks for stepping up. We really appreciate it. Okay. Sometimes the slideshow works. I haven't figured out why sometimes and not other times, but I'm doing the next one too. So our next award is our Partner of the Year Award. Partnerships are key to building an organization that reaches and includes a wide variety of individuals and organizations. When partners jump on board, they bring all their strengths and resources. If you look at all the projects that River Relief does each year, none of those would be possible without the dedication, generosity, and shared passion of our partners. Our annual Partner of the Year Award honors those partners that share our mission and selflessly give of themselves to make our projects a success. Last year's winner was Stream Teams United. Now, I remember the first time I went to Cooper's Landing. It was probably 23 years ago, and the place was a little rough around the edges. I remember the evening ended up in a drunken shouting match. I don't remember who won the shouting match, but chances are they're still around. Over the years, Mike Cooper really cleaned the place up and made families his focus. He always opened his arms to Missouri River Relief and helped in anything we wanted to do down there. Cooper's Landing was one of the most unique places on the river, a place every river traveler wanted to stop. Not to mention the best sunsets in Boone County. Best people, too. Now, just days after Richard King purchased Cooper's, the Great Flood of 2019 began. With the help of the river community and a lot of hard work, Cooper's Landing began to take shape again. Different, but back. The flood also destroyed the road to Eagle Bluffs, where we had hosted several years of Missouri River Days with the whole fourth grade of Columbia Public Schools. So back then in 2019, Kristen was looking for a new location for Missouri River Days. She didn't even finish asking Richard King before he said yes. Anything he could do to help us is what he said. And Cooper's Landing is a perfect place for this event. Docks for easy loading onto boats, picnic tables for the watercolors, a Katy Trail walk through the flood-scoured forest. Now this fall in 2020, Richard kept his North Campground open for us to take over for several days of river cleanup. Rodney kept us supplied with wood and let us take over the place for our registration, our dumpsters, and our trash hauling. Cooper's Landing still has the best sunset in Boone County, and we are so glad that they still offer an up-close and personal experience with the river for all of our people. And we are so grateful for the open arms they've embraced our mission with. Our 2020 Partner of the Year is Cooper's Landing. And I believe Richard King is on board with us tonight. There he is.
Here. Hey, thank you so much for those kind words, Steve. But there is a big thank you that needs to go out to you and everybody involved with Missouri River Relief because of that first few days of ownership at Cooper's Landing. There was a lot of learning for me to do. And one thing that really shocked me about the whole thing, besides the water and how fast it came up, was the river community, and in particular, the Missouri River Relief people, how they were there and ready, actually boat me into Cooper's to give me an idea about exactly what was going on. And then when the waters finally went down, everybody pitched in to help clean up and get the place back in shape. Forever, that made such an impression on me that, believe me, I just said to myself, they didn't have to do that, but they did it, and they did it without even me asking for anything. It just happened. So you very rarely see things like that today. And what I did learn was exactly what you guys are all about. And it just, to me, is just a wonderful gesture. And what your goals are, I think, are unbelievable. And and like I've said to you, anything I can do to help you and Missouri River Relief continue on with your mission, believe me, I want you to know I'm there. My plans for Cooper's got a little delayed there because of all the water and the flooding and things like that. But my goal is to make it a very friendly, clean place for people to visit, for people to be on the river, for people to use the trail. But I just want you to know that that is something I will never forget, the generosity of Missouri River Relief and the people in the river community. And I'm just, as a newbie, I'm really happy to be part of it. And I want to thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for those kind words, Richard. And we will see you down at the river.
Absolutely.
And, we haven't had beautiful ice flows to see this year at all. But I think next week we're going to get them. I'm thinking Tuesday or Wednesday. So we'll see how that goes.
Can't wait.
Yeah. Kristen is next.
This is the Inspiring the Next Generation Award. Our education programs engage students' innate sense of wonder to explore the Missouri River through place-based programs that are interdisciplinary in nature and experiential in character. No one person has a greater impact on inspiring students' curiosity of the Missouri River than the educators who create learning environments where students' relationships with the river can flourish and grow. The Inspiring the Next Generation Award goes to an educator that strives to connect people to the Missouri River and deepens their sense of river stewardship. Last year's winner was Hickman High School science teacher Dan Miller. This year's recipient has been involved with Missouri River Relief since the beginning. She helped plan the first Missouri River Watershed Festival in Kansas City and has worked on safety boats during the MR 340 over the years. Through these experiences, she's developed a deep appreciation for the learning opportunities that the Missouri River has to offer. In 2007, she reached out to say that she had secured funding for Missouri River Relief to host a workshop for teachers and administrators that focused on integrating water quality education into the classroom for her school district in Kansas City. She wanted to address the how and why of water quality education, and she felt the Missouri River Relief was the best organization for the job. Through her efforts over the last 3 years, she made planning for our annual workshop seamless as we navigated raising river levels and stormy weather each spring. During the workshop, she brought with her excitement and support for the teachers who wanted to connect to this powerful real-world learning. In 2020, many of our partners canceled or postponed our education programs. Not her. She was determined to support us and the teachers in this difficult time. Through the reconfiguration of our annual workshop into a virtual format, her support was the first light that guided our path while we explored the possibilities of distance learning. This year's Inspiring the Next Generation Award recipient stands out for her ripple effect across Missouri River Relief and her school district. Please help us recognize Joan Levins, the recently retired Coordinator of Sustainability and Community Engagement at Shawnee Mission School District in Shawnee Mission, Missouri.
Thank you all for those kind words, and thank you, Kristen. I am grateful to the Shawnee Mission School District for putting me in a position to be able to offer these opportunities to our students and our teachers. I'm especially grateful to the curriculum instruction team, Dr. Aaron Smith and Kristen Zuck, who jumped in wholeheartedly and embraced this whole curriculum idea and integrated across the entire school district. We have 27,000 students in our school district, so it's quite an impact. I also am grateful to Dr. Leanne Neal, who is carrying on the work that we started in Shawnee Mission. Thinking about this organization and your impact on my life, I did indeed reflect on that beginning in 2003 when Jim Karpowitz came to town and brought this crew of amazing individuals. We were part of a set of partners who planned an event that brought 1,000 students down to the river. 600 people came out to clean up in the pouring rain on the following day. During that week of planning, I had my first boat ride. Steve Mellis took me for my first ride on the river. I met Char Overby, who brought the term Beer 30 into our family's vernacular. I met Chad Progracki, John Brady, Tim Nye, who ate everything off of a paper napkin because he refused to touch anything that had to do with styrofoam. Brian Hopkins was there. Steve Schnarr was there. So many, many more. You all impacted my life a long time ago, and that thread has carried throughout my life and my career. Since then, my kids have had Thai food at Cooper's Landing. I have had the opportunity to serve as a safety crew member on the MR 340 multiple times, and learned through you all and that introduction that you gave me that the Missouri River is truly our lifeblood for our community. You showed me the power and the might, the beauty and the fragility, and how important that river is, and inspired me to do what I could to make sure others had the opportunity to see what you saw and what you so deeply care about. So thank you to Missouri River Relief for all that you have done for me. Cannot thank you enough.
Thank you, Jim. Likewise, it has been really wonderful to find a foundation for our education programs with so much of your support and kind of build things from there. And I look forward to continuing your work, your legacy at Shawnee Mission School District with Leanne and Kristen, and I'm excited about that. Our next award, I am pretty stoked about. It's our Student of the Year award. Our education programs, they provide a wide variety of opportunities for students to engage with the Missouri River. Our students play a critical role not only in the stewardship of the river, but also increasing the sense of responsibility to take care of the river and others. The Student of the Year award goes to students whose exceptional passion and commitment to learning about the river is a model for all of us, young and old. Our previous year's winner was Campbell Haymeyer from Herman, Missouri. Missouri River Relief is dedicated to supporting families in our local community. And that is why in 2020, we pivoted towards hosting a virtual camp experience for summer and fall session. Between the two runs of this program, we hosted over 100 students between the grades of 4th and 12th and exploring their local watershed. And out of that 100 students that we got to know, that we still miss dearly through our virtual camp experience, one student's leadership and enthusiasm shined bright. Watershed Expeditions was a combination. So we had virtual meetings, but we also had an activity box that was delivered to students' doorsteps. And this box was packed with different instructions, supplies, so that they could get out and they could explore their watershed. Several times, this student took those activities way beyond what we expected. When he was completing his river cleanup activities, he invited his neighbors to join the cleanup by posting it on a local neighborhood page. He provided snacks, which, if any of you know, that's like the key to a good volunteer event. So I'm just going to say he might be a River Relief staff member in the making. And neighbors came out and they joined for a creek cleanup in their local neighborhood. During these virtual meetings that we would have, students also had the opportunity to meet with guest speakers from across the country, and stories of these guest speakers inspired our students to come up with their final project. Students were tasked with designing a solution for a pollution problem. And this was sort of, in our minds, kind of like a hypothetical, let's work this out. But once more, this student took this project beyond our expectations. He created a homemade stencil, which if you've ever tried to do, it's pretty hard to kind of cut out letters through paper. And then he used spray paint, and the message on the stencil was "No dumping leads to stream." And he went around his neighborhood and he spray painted on the storm drains this message for his neighborhood. You should have seen the other kids' faces during Watershed Expeditions when they all realized that he got to use spray paint. It was super exciting. And then a month after Watershed Expeditions is over, I get a phone call from the City of Columbia's stormwater educator saying how impressed he was with Watershed Expeditions because he had had a student reach out to him about volunteering to place markers on stormwater drains, which are these little colorful blue and green signs that say, that's Amara, that say "No dumping." And these markers got placed onto drains around his neighborhood. So much to our surprise, we were finding out that he was still continuing to do what we had set out with Watershed Expeditions, all on his own. His leadership and his enthusiasm is a reminder that no matter how young you might be, everyone has a great potential to be a leader. And we want him to know that his efforts do not go unnoticed. Please help us recognize someone who helps make our future brighter. Student of the Year, Fox Bybee, a 4th grader at Russell Elementary in Columbia, Missouri. Yay! Hi, Fox.
Thank you. I just wanted my creek to be clean because we go play there every single day. And so it's already dirty because it's from the sewer. We just want it to be cleaner.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Fox. We really think it's cool the work that you did in your neighborhood. And thank you, Fox's family, as well. We really appreciate you supporting Fox, and have loved you being part of Watershed Expeditions. Fox, it looks like there's some good comments for you in the chat box if you get a chance to look.
Okay, up next is the Rising Star Award. The long-term survival of Missouri River Relief depends on the continual recruitment of volunteers and crew members dedicated to our mission. While all ages of volunteers are treasured, outstanding young people are the next generation of river relief. The annual Rising Star Award is given to youth who have risen and shined as outstanding river relief crew members. Previous year's winner, Eva Allen. So this pod of siblings has been with River Relief for many years, showing up to local cleanups like the annual Old Plank River Road cleanup. Their pod is substantial enough. We just give them their own section of road and sometimes their own boat. Being mostly homeschooled, they're highly independent and know how to jump right into the scene. For the past few years, at least one of them was able to participate in Missouri River Relief's summer program, the Missouri River Academy, befriending some of the other students and relishing in carp guts, I'm told. I'm told these girls were laughing up a storm while grossing out a very pregnant Kristen. This year, without skipping a beat, all three Millers participated in watershed expeditions at home. Leo asked great questions for our guest speakers. Phelan slowly opened up over time, and Oliver was a constant ball of energy, interacting and getting to know all of the students during the virtual sessions. As we launched our Trash Mobs initiative, they continued to care for their place, helping clean up along the river road where they live in southern Boone County. They joined us for our first big cleanup of the pandemic, the crew cleanup that we hosted in Hartsburg with the whole family and their BFFs, the Franks, to make an awesome river cleaning team. We love those smiles. Plus their parents, Katie and Ethan, are amazing. So I guess we know why Leo, Phelan, and Oliver are River Relief's up-and-coming rising stars. Please join us in recognizing this year's rising stars, the Millers.
Yeah, so glad to be part of this awesome community, and absolutely astonished that, I mean, we would even be recognized. We thank absolutely everyone who spent any time on, cleaning the river, donating money and time, because it's absolutely amazing. And we wanted to thank some super special mentors and teachers and people who helped us stay engaged and enjoy our time. We want to thank Kevin, Steve, Kristen, Laura, Corey, and Melanie, because they have been amazing people. Thank you.
Well, thank you all so much. That is like one of the coolest photos of a family we've ever had. That's so cool. All right, so I'm just gonna do a couple things real quick, but I am next. All right. So our next award is the Dive In Head First Award. The key to success and longevity of any organization is a continuous supply of new, energetic volunteers and crew members. The annual Dive In Head First Award is meant to recognize the most outstanding newcomers to the River Relief crew. Previous year's winners are Rob Nix and Eileen and Barney Combs. As Melanie mentioned, each year we host a river road cleanup to give back to some of the roads that lead us to one of our favorite places on the river, Cooper's Landing. This is where we originally met our first award recipient, Wonderful Family in Tow. Something magical must have happened that day because we were rewarded with his presence at our cleanups ever since. Willing to do any task and work until the job is complete, This person is one of the reasons the wrap up at Cooper's Landing cleanup was so smooth this year, and why there are a few less furniture items along the trail in St. Charles. So our second recipient of this award is a force of nature. In fact, she celebrated her 76th birthday by paddling 542 miles of the Missouri River over the course of 12 short days. Only one thing stood in the way of calling her journey a flawless trip: the trash that lined the river along her route from Peru, Nebraska to the confluence of the Mississippi. A short couple of months later, she joined us for a crew meeting and quickly became one of the hardest working crew at our fall cleanups. In fact, once all the work was done for the day, she picked up a roll of trash bags and headed back out to get more. Unstoppable. It takes a certain kind of person to drive 2 hours to camp along the Missouri River with a group of strangers for the first time to pick up trash. And these two award recipients are those certain kinds of people, and we're so thankful for them. So please help me in recognizing Rian Duplessis and Carol Lee Bratt-Kaiser. It's so weird without an applause.
Thanks, Karen. Is Carol Lee there?
Yeah, she's around here too. I'll pin her.
Well, Kevin, I've got to say thank you for gently throwing me in head first and getting my hands wet and my feet wet and me dirty as quickly as possible. You really were inspirational. Carol, thanks for being a buddy through all of this, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. All right, so I think I actually have the next one too. Do a couple things.
Carol, unmute yourself.
There,
There you
okay.
go.
Oh yeah, Carol, would you like to say?
Nice. Okay, yeah, I'm not very tech savvy, but I have appreciated this whole group, Kevin and Steve and everyone else involved with the group. You've made this whole, it feel like a family to me. I just feel so warmly received, and I can't thank you enough for the opportunity you've given me to be able to help clean up that mess that I found on the journey down the river. And Leon, I really enjoyed meeting you as well, Ruan. We've yeah, it's I didn't know that picture was taken. Yeah.
Thanks, Carol. You've been a great buddy.
Well, yeah, great. I agree. Right. Anyway, this is, yeah, it's been a wonderful experience for me, and I intend to continue next year. Wherever you guys go to clean up the river, I'm with you.
Awesome. And yeah, that was a pretty great that we got that picture from Bernie Arnold that had both of you in it. All right, so I've also got the next one. So our next award is the One Step Ahead Award. So few organizations survive without individuals that persistently watch out for things that need done or simply just jumping in and getting it done. The annual One Step Ahead Award is given to that crew member that has exhibited go-to-itness, that raised the bar. We recognize them for their selfless recognition of what needs to be done and then just doing it. Previous year's winner is Steve Olson. This year's recipient is a veteran to the trash cleanup game, each time bringing experience from their former endeavors, along with a willingness and readiness to both learn from and teach others. Their ability to engage and charge a group of volunteers before battle, unmatched. If there's a task, they want to be a part of it, whether it's rounding up volunteers, collecting tires, or bringing ice to a hot and tired safety boat. They're on it, especially the collecting tires part. If you ever find yourself on a cleanup and in a pinch, they are the person to call. You need a trailer on the fly, they'll ask you how big and where you need it. How many tires did you say? No problem. He knows all the right people and wants them all to be involved. On top of leading the mighty Stream Team to 11, this crew member is also a part of the Missouri Stream Team with the Department of Conservation for nearly 20 years. However, what most people don't know, myself included before this, is that since he works part-time for MDC, all the miles that he travels have no reimbursement, and his time at many cleanup events are often volunteer time, not on the clock. For those reasons and so many more, please join me in showing appreciation to this year's recipient of the One Step Ahead Award, Brian Waldrop.
Well, folks, I really don't know what to say. I'm kind of choked up here. I'm a very humbled person right now. I'm honored to receive this. I consider you all my family and everything, but I didn't expect this. This is amazing. I long for when we can be together again. Thank you very much, everyone.
Me too, man. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Okay, I'm next up to present the Metamorphosis Award. Equally important to the new blood and growth and evolution of crew members, or is the evolution of crew members into the positions of responsibility essential to our continued success. The annual Metamorphosis Award recognizes a seasoned crew member who truly grew in their contributions to the organization this year, transforming themselves into positions of more responsibility as a leader, boat driver, staff member, board member, or other positions. The previous year's winner was Nick Rogers. This year's Metamorphosis Award honors a devoted and hardworking volunteer crew member who has quietly been supporting the organization for years. For nearly a decade, I think, she has helped the organization with her excellent graphic design skills. Last year, Chris helped redesign our annual report, donating a good portion of her time. She's helped us make connections in the Kansas City area, acquiring new donors, and is happy to spread the gospel of river relief to groups that she works with, offering to give presentations about our work, teaming up with board members Dave Stouse or Bill Fessler. This year during the pandemic, Chris and the boys plugged into the trash mob scene, cleaning up their nearest creek and submitting activity reports and photos for each cleanup. She joined up with Paddle KC and very quickly became a leader, teaching the group about her work with river relief and helped organize cleanups as part of the paddle group's local outings. At the end of each season, she usually brings her family to River Relief's last big cleanup of the year and plugs right in despite some usually dreary October weather. This fall, she applied to join the River Relief Board of Directors, never failing to step up and do her part. She was voted into the new slate of directors starting in 2021. She has the biggest heart, the brightest smile, and the most contagious laugh. We are honored to have the Matern crew as part of our tribe. It is my honor to recognize the selfless and giving crew member, Chris Matern, for the 2020 Metamorphosis Award.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I kind of don't know what to say just because I feel like this is the biggest honor just to even be involved and just to even know you guys. I have learned so much from all of you. You guys have helped me to grow in ways I didn't even know I needed to grow. You've taught me the value of educating others with love and care and compassion, and taught me about things in nature that I didn't know, like what does poison ivy look like? So I just feel really grateful and humbled to even be a part of this just amazing, beautiful thing. And there's so much magic and love in this group, and I can't imagine my life without it. So thank you. I just feel super honored.
Well, thank you, Chris and Luke and Ben. Okay, so most of our awards are pretty happy. You know, I don't know why people keep crying because, I mean, they're happy, they're positive. But this next one, maybe not as much. So every year we give the Broken Prop Award. Now, every organization has their follies. Despite our best intentions, the river gods will play their tricks, and every once in a while, the stuff does hit the fan. As unfortunate as that may be, someone is usually there to take it in the chops. The annual Broken Prop Award is given to that river relief crew member that has endured the greatest humiliation, the most audacious malady, the most outstanding mishap, or is the target of the most cruel accusations and slanders of the river season. Last year's winner was Anthony Boudreau Pettit. So sorry, Anthony. Okay, but this year's recipient has been training to drive river relief boats for several years and doing a great job. This incident happened after she had spent the week co-piloting the Lucia for an entire week during the MR 340 and mostly was flawless, mostly. After sleeping deeply for the night in St. Charles, we fired up the Lucia and headed back upstream. After we passed New Haven and were blasting through the Bernheimer Bluffs, I honestly stopped paying close attention. This volunteer was at the wheel. She had the Pro Paddler navigation app working. She'd been doing a great job. I pulled out my phone to catch up on text messages. After a bit, I looked ahead and I saw wooden pilings dead ahead? A wing dike? Before I had a chance to say anything, we nailed it. Well, the prop was still workable, so we limped it into Herman. It should be mentioned, by the way, that Russ Pezant, one of the most experienced pilots in the bunch, also hit a dike on that same stretch. So it can happen to anyone. Now, it turns out that the skeg had been knocked clean off. After attempting to mount a replacement prop with incorrect hardware, spinning off the new prop in the process, we decided to pull out the boat and not take our chances on the shaft being bent. Good thing, because it turns out both the prop and drive shaft were bent. Now, this sort of thing can happen to anyone. Thanks to some excellent work by Racing Dave and free welding by Thad LaFay, the boat was back in working order in a couple of weeks. Our Broken Prop Award winner, Elka Boyd, felt bad and she made a huge donation to cover the costs of repairs. By the way, that is something we would never expect or require of our volunteers, ever. But mostly, we hope we can convince her to hop back on the stick or the wheel of one of our boats again. Receiving this award means you've put in the time, the effort, and the passion to make Missouri River Relief go. We all make mistakes. Congrats on receiving the coveted Broken Prop Award. For yours, Elka.
Yeah, I don't know how coveted this is, but I guess when I screw up, I do it right. I think one of the things that speaks for river relief is that you can screw up and still keep going. You know, with river relief, you have a chance to learn a lot of things and do a lot of things you don't otherwise, and you're always encouraged, and you know, everybody's always kind and encouraging, and you have opportunity to grow, and I really appreciate that. And it's a good thing we're not doing this in person, so you don't see me blush and fidget. But well, yeah, I got it. So what can I say? Thank you.
A lot of cool comments coming in through the chat.
Yeah, go big or go home.
Yeah, I went big.
Yeah. Well, it's too bad that I don't have the picture to show everybody of the refrigerator that's been stuck in the bank of the river by Easley for as long as any of us can remember. And Elka got it out this year. Just one of many things she's done beyond the Call of Duty. So thanks for everything you do, Elka. And sometime in the next week, we're going to come to your house with your very own Broken Prop Award that you can have for an entire year until the next person that has to get it.
Yeah, I can't wait to hang that on my wall.
Take it to the office.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
All right, so we have our final award of the evening, the Cornerstone Award. All right, so every organization has its unsung heroes, people doing the dirty work behind the scenes or take the brunt of the workload. The annual Cornerstone Award is our organization's highest honor. It recognizes a veteran River Relief crew or board member that has dedicated many years of service to the organization's well-being. Their leadership and commitment to our mission has been essential to our success. Previous year's winner is Lori Ready for Ready. Calm, cool, collected, and oftentimes the voice of reason, this year's Cornerstone recipient sees things from a higher vantage point, often providing solutions to problems and helping us find the path of least resistance. On top of that, this Cornerstone is always willing to do the work that no one else wants to do, no matter how tall the order. Making sandwiches in the morning, leading a land-based volunteer group, serving dinner, starting the campfire, and pulling our boats across the state, just to name a few. When not lending a helping hand, he can oftentimes be found off on his own or soaking in some solitude under the awning of their snazzy van. A longtime member of the organization, the height of his commitment knows no bounds, and he is forever on our list of folks to reach out to when we're really in a bind. When something seems out of reach, we know just the person to call. It's been so fortunate that I've been able to present this award to some of my closest friends the past few years, and this one is no different. So please help us in recognizing this year's Cornerstone, David Tootal Ellsbury.
You're on.
You're on.
No, I don't see me. Your puns killed me.
It took so long to write that.
Our connection is really crappy. So, I mean, it's awesome. I love just spending time with all y'all know that. And thank you very much.
Thank you, man. All right. So I think that wraps up our annual award.
So thank you everybody for tuning in tonight. And thank you so much for everything that you guys do to keep this rolling and to accomplish kind of an endless string of awesome things on the Missouri River. So as you guys go back to your lives, you know, first of all, as the ice starts flowing next week on the river, get down there and check it out. Go and experience that. It's one of the highlights of the year, really. And you know, as our world starts to open back up again, we hope, you know, over the next few months, you know, just remember in your heart the things that you can do to make a difference. And remember all of us and come back and join us. We're going to be doing some fantastic stuff together. I can't wait to see you guys. So for the rest of the evening, we're going to leave this window open for a little bit. I'm going to shut off the live feed and we'll just leave this open for a little bit. If you guys want to unmute yourself and stay on, chat with anybody that's left, please feel free to do that. It's probably going to take a second for me to figure out how to stop the live feed. So there is usually a button that's not here, of course, tonight.
Oh, no.
Oh, there.